Hey guys, welcome back. DeFi, degens, Drip, and Farm for Poverty. I'm your host, Drip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all Forex Shark related projects. And in today's video, we're getting into a question that's come up quite a bit regarding the circulating supply or the total supply of Drip and how the minting of tokens is affecting the Drip price, or is it? And we're going to get into some weeds in here, so hope you stay with me because you're not going to want to miss this. I'm going to try to break it down as simply as possible and pulling in some info directly from Forex, reference how this actually affects the drip price, and trying to explain that also in layman's terms. So shout out first to Michael Dolby. He's the one that sparked this question. He said, with the total supply now being over 2 million tokens, doubled in the last few months, how do we get back to a position where the tokens aren't being minted at an exponential rate? My understanding is that this will kill off any possibility of a price increase. That's exactly what we're going to address in this video. So first, we're going to play a clip from Forex, reference this exact question. It's phrased a little differently, but the response is still very valid. And then I'm going to go into circulating supply, total supply, and some of the stuff that he's actually talking about so you actually understand what it means. But first, we're just going to play the short answer from Forex. Then we'll get into the deep weeds from the response he gives.
Speaking of taxes, there was a viewer question that I'll ask real quick, and he or she, I don't know who it was, asked if has minting extra drip changed the point at which whale tax applies?
No, it hasn't.
We're gonna leave that right there. So this question was specifically asking about the whale tax, and has minting extra drip changed the time in which the whale tax applies? Meaning, now that we have 2 million, does it take 20,000 drip to be taxed at level 1? And the answer was no. So you're still taxed at 10,000. And then I'm going to play the rest of this clip after that, but I want to go back to this because the question that Michael Dolby asked is like basically asking, how does the 2 million tokens affect our price? So with that answer from Forex, and then he goes a little deeper regarding how price is actually calculated, we're going to first now look at what determines price, right? So the price of a token, we're actually going to get it straight from CoinMarketCap because they're a better authority than something I would just say. So they say the circulating supply is the best approximation of the number of assets that are circulating in the market and in general public's hands. We have found that circulating supply is much better metric than total supply for determining the market capitalization. So market cap is circulating supply times the price of the token. If you have 1,000 tokens in circulation and they're all $1, you have a $1,000 market cap. You have, they're at $10, you have $10,000 market cap. So this is what they're referring to in the best way to find out the value or price of a token. That's what they say here. So they use circulating supply rather than total supply. So when we look at drip, we see our total supply, it's clearly right there, of 2 million, over 2 million. But that's not a good indicator, as CoinMarketCap says, to find out your market capitalization, because they explain it here. Assets that are locked via smart contracts or legal contracts allocated to the team or private investors or not able to be sold on public market cannot affect the price and thus should not be allowed to affect market capitalization as well. This is very important. Assets that are locked via smart contracts. So when we go back here to drip, if you've never looked at BSC scan, an easy way to identify is this little icon in front. It looks like a piece of paper fold at the top. These are contracts. So we have, between these two contracts, almost 1 million drip tokens locked up. So these should not be counted towards the circulating supply. That's 942,000. So if we take that out, we're sitting right at 1,012,000, right? Just from these two contracts alone. This one's a pancake swap, you clearly see that. This is the supply on the native DEX. So if you go here to drip, you can find that number down here at the bottom. Total supply has changed a little bit. 304,108, because I just refreshed, but that's what this contract is. That's the amount of tokens that are available to be purchased from the Faucet. So this is the Faucet contract. It's an easy way to explain that. Now we scroll down a little more. We're going to run into the tax wallet. Where is it? I think it's on page 2. Yeah, page 2. So this is going to be another contract that has tokens that are locked, meaning they should not be counted against the market cap. This is the tax wallet. So there's 2,139 tokens in the tax wallet. Then we have here, I don't remember what this one is. And then you have the ones that he burned. So when you add all of those up, just those contracts alone, you find out that there's about 95,000 or so drip tokens that are locked. Just a quick message, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That does help the channel as well as help bring brand awareness to all Forex Shark related projects. Thanks. Right? And so right here, it tells you that assets that are locked via smart contracts or legal contracts should not be allowed to affect market capitalization as well. So when we're looking at the total price and reference again what Michael Dolby said, he's questioned, my understanding is that this will kill off any possible price increase. The answer is no, because those tokens cannot be sold. They are locked in smart contracts. So only the circulating supply, which is all these that are sitting in wallets, these can be dumped on the market. The ones that are in contracts have to actually be sold or bought first, which will obviously cause a price increase. Then they can be sold. So the ones that can be dumped on the market to affect the price are the ones sitting in people's wallets. That's all of these. So I went ahead and took the liberty of adding this up for you guys, just so you could see what we're looking at. It's not completely all the numbers, but I went ahead and exported what was available from Binance BSC scan. And when we come all the way down, when I just do just the top 50, we have 1.3 million drip in the top 50 wallets. And then if you would allocate taking out the smart contracts from the top 50, you have 340,000 drip in circulation in the top 50. So it's not as bad as it looks when you remove the smart contracts from circulating supply. And in total, I don't think I actually did the actual total number, but you could just say that's 1,000, that's 5,200 plus this 9, so like 960,000. So just over 1.1 million in circulation, basically, that are in wallets. Now, what's going to happen also with this, let me pull this up. Many of these people are going to pair that drip in their wallet. So, and they're going to end up putting it here in the farm, which means it's never going to go back into the tax vault or never back into the drip contract on the drip faucet. I can't say for certain all these people are going to do that, but I do know a lot of whales that have YouTube channels and others that are in the chats have said they are waiting to pair this with drip. Now, does that mean they're going to find the equivalent in BUSD and then pair it? Or are they going to sell some of it? We don't know. But the bulk of these people are accumulating drip to actually pair. We know that because if you go back and look at any of my old videos, you will see that these wallets have been increasing in drip. Sure, they've probably taken profits along the way, but the wallet balances have increased substantially since the farms have paused, and they have been waiting, speculation of course, because I'm not them and these aren't my wallets, but waiting to put this into the drip BUSD garden. And when that and when that happens, that will then be again removed from circulation. It will be taken out and been locked into another contract. So you're going to see, like I said, the top 50, there's about 300,000 drips sitting there in the top 50. Let's say half of that is sold. And then the other half is going to, once it's sold, they pair it with BUSD. That means we're going to be dumping 150,000 roughly onto the market, but then locking up the other 150,000. So we're going to be sitting at like 1.1 million locked in contracts. And that's a modest guess. So take that with a grain of salt regarding it being a detriment the more we mint. Also, spoiler, we will probably continue to mint more drip because right now there is no incentive for people to put it back into the drip faucet. So remember, a lot of these whales have multiple wallets and they're getting paid out a lot of drip. They don't want to sell it though. Remember, the name of the game in the long term is to not sell your drip. but that doesn't mean they're not going to claim it and take it out of this contract, take it out of the faucet, and then move it somewhere else. And once it's moved somewhere else, it's now locked into another contract. So we just end up taking drip from one place and locking it up in another. And remember, every time they get in and out of here, there is a tax. Now, this is some alpha and something that can potentially help that Forex mentioned, is because when they come in here, I believe there's a 3% tax in and a 3% tax out. And he did mention that he could use a portion of that tax to actually go back to the tax vault or go to the reservoir. So we will see how that gets played. But point being is that once it's in, it's locked up, and that's another contract. And when people are putting it in there, they are being taxed so that a portion of that is being reflected back to us. So let's go back to the rest of Forex's response and try to tie this all together. And hopefully it'll make a lot more sense.
But we have the ability to adjust it if it's needed. So we have the ability to adjust various values, such as the minimum deposit, such as the amount of BREIT you need to hold. So we can allow the system to be scalable. For example, the minimum deposit needs to be reduced if the price is doing 10x, and the amount of BREIT you need to hold to unlock wallets needs to be reduced if the price of if BREIT is growing exponentially, because the average user needs to be able to use the basic functions of the system. So all of the all of the mechanics that need to be adjustable to allow the system to scale are adjustable, and that's one of them. So I don't like to mess with anything unless it's like unless it's obvious that this needs to happen. Like, for the system to be functional, this needs to happen. So that's why we haven't touched it, and there's no need to touch it. And in fact, it's more bullish to have that lower and have the supply increase, because that just means that now it really depends if that drip if that new drip created is hitting the circulating supply, which means, and it's actually hitting the market, causing sell pressure, but the max supply is not increased to represent the increased total supply, then that means the amount that someone is allowed to withdraw from the system at the max supply is lower from a USD value perspective. So that's actually a form of countermeasure against people it's a countermeasure against dividends increasing as the price is reducing. So if you understand what I'm saying, so if the supply is increasing, which means but the supply increasing, we already went over the supply increasing doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to have a reduction in price, right? If the supply is increasing because less drip is going to the faucet, but more drip is going to the other secondary contracts, then the opposite would happen. Then we would have a price increase, and that's what we've seen, right? And the reason we know that is because when you account for yield in our performance, we've outperformed all of these major altcoins, and that wouldn't be possible if the additional tokens were moving into circulating supply and being dumped on the market. So
I know that's a lot to digest, but in short, what he was saying is that if these new minted tokens were being dumped on the market, then we would have seen more negative price action than what we've seen. And yes, we have gone down substantially from our all-time highs. Let's do the math real quick. Divided by 197. So we are down 96.5%. But when he's saying, and that is more than the market, but when you factor in the dividends or the yield that you got, then we are probably closer to the regular market correction, 60 to 70% that everybody else got. So without that dividend or the yield that we get 1% per day, we'd be down a lot more. And if this drip was being dumped directly on the market, yes, some of it obviously has been, but not that much. Actually, when you look at Dex Screener, you'll see that we are trading, our trading volumes like 50,000 to 100,000 per day. It's not like a substantial extra amount. So also he mentioned in there that the if the max supply wasn't increasing to represent the increased total supply, then the amount someone is able to withdraw is lower from a USD perspective. So what does that mean in layman's terms? Glad you asked. So I put this up in a sheet as well. So what our current drip wallet says is our whales tax, basically 1% you get taxed, and then 10,000 tokens. And then 2% is 20,000 claim tokens, 30% yada, yada, yada. But since he hasn't changed these numbers and it's still fixed at this value, that means now with the 2 million tokens and you get taxed at with 2 million total supply and you're now have 10,000 tokens, you're being taxed, but you're actually at half the percent of the total supply. So he said from a price perspective, this is actually better. And that's true because now whales are being taxed sooner rather than this going up to match the supply, meaning that you're kind of burning the candle at both ends, for lack of a better word. And this was just an example of total supply versus circulating supply. So if you have, I made up my own token. If you have a 1,000 total supply and circulating supply is 1,000 and they're $1, you have $1,000 market cap. And if you have 500 in circulation, even though you have a total supply of 1,000, you have a $500 market cap. And then if you have a 5,000 total supply, but still 1,000 circulation, it's still a $1,000 market cap. And if you had 100 of these tokens, you can just divide that out, get the token price. So hopefully that explains a little more. Oh, also in this video, if you watched this long, congratulations for those that do. Another incentive for you, today's secret scavenger word, and I believe it's number 3. The word for today is minting, as in minting drip. So if you are playing the scavenger hunt and you've been following along, another spoiler, you should have, this is the 3rd word, I did double check. This is the 3rd word of this week, or this, whatever you want to call this run. And yeah, minting. All right, back onto the video. So right now, our approximate current circulating supply is about 900,000 drip tokens or so. I think that's what I got. And hopefully that answered the questions regarding circulating supply. Also, I brought this up if you want to do your own research on these numbers. You can basically come in to dripepedia.wiki. I believe the new wiki from the community should be a more legitimate source. But this one is not complete yet. But if you go to dripepedia.wiki, you can find the contracts and they go straight out to the BSC scan, and you can find this yourself and start kind of looking at this information I'm sharing with you guys here. And you can check the token supply and learn which ones are which and all that stuff like that. So hopefully we beat that dead horse and answered this question for Michael Dobley, as well as you guys out there wondering about the circulating supply and all that. And like I said, the spoiler alert is that we may never stop minting drip, and that's a feature, not a bug. However, the layer 2 contract that they're adding is meant to incentivize people to put drip back into the faucet and support the reservoir. So that means right now, there's more of an incentive to pull it out and put it over into the farm. But with the layer 2, Forex is going to try to incentivize people to actually keep it in the drip faucet, which will definitely help. And I don't think we're going to see the circulating supply, total supply go down, but we could see it kind of flatten off. So if the incentive to put it back into the faucet and the tax vault goes there, then that means we will see that our new circulating total supply will be somewhere around this number, and it shouldn't go back up because he said he will not burn drip. That's a waste. He only did that in the beginning. it's better to put it in the tax vault since that's where our dividends are paid out. So we'll never see drip burned because it doesn't make any sense, because you're gonna have to mint it again anyway in order to pay out. But with the new layer 2, we should see an incentive for people to put drip back into the faucet. And therefore, by putting it back in the faucet, you end up adding back into the tax vault, and also an incentive for people to buy drip on a daily basis, weekly basis, because the biggest buy or something like that also can win a lottery or some other things that they're doing. So we should see that help support the drip price, or not drip price, but stabilize the total supply in drip. All right, that was a long video, super detailed in my opinion. Hope it shed some light for you guys. If you still have any questions, please by all means drop those in the comments, because I use that to educate myself on what you guys would like to know, and also make content that you guys find informative. Because that's how I try to set myself out from others in the crypto space that are in drip and do their own content. I try to be unique and informative with what I share with you guys. So if you found that valuable, please like, subscribe. Spoiler, there is a potential contest that I have going on with another YouTuber, maybe 2 or 3 in total. And we might be creating some kind of contest for a push to a certain number of subscribers. If you've been reading in the comments, you might have seen this person, but I haven't accepted the terms of agreement just yet. So we're gonna figure it out, and I wanna actually make something of it, a community event, then wanna reward you guys that follow and all this stuff. So I wanna turn it to something, a nice kind of contest. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, live daily and achieve your impossible.